Well, hey, good morning. It's good to be back on a Wednesday and talking through another week of community this week, kind of building off some of the final comments last week about just trusting community, right? It's one thing to be a part of it, it's another to see it be dynamic and a connection you feel going one way and experiencing that trust coming back another, just an important aspect to talk through. So, writing this week and sharing this morning just about factors that lead to greater trust in a community, some dynamics, things you can focus on to make it even more like stronger and experience more of the benefits. Writing on Monday about three key factors I think are related to that. One is just this idea that people learn about often, right? The golden rule, whether it's through school or examples other people have set, because clearly the better you act in a community, the better you treat people in relation to how you want to be treated, the more that's reciprocated and experienced. Um, the second aspect was just more about many times people have to set boundaries. You know, we've talked about that around here, but just boundaries against people who aren't following what you expect them to do or treating you the way you want to do it. I was just encouraging everyone to just take time to revisit those occasionally, just in case there's been an extended period of time. Someone may have changed their responses to things. Maybe they've matured a little bit. Maybe some other circumstances have come that have humbled them and done it differently. So if you've set a boundary against somebody maybe a long time ago or recently, it's fair to just double check that. Usually you can do that with some pretty good risk management, but just to see, because there's an opportunity to, again, expand community, have it work a little better. And then the final thing I was talking about was forgiveness and grace. Just some powerful examples to be able to set just in our own humanity of making mistakes or being able to do things. A community that doesn't reflect forgiveness and grace when it's needed in the right proportions isn't very healthy from a standpoint. Very critical, very judgmental. There's a chance that that community gets on a kind of a death spiral and just starts to shrink. We certainly can see that in families. When families that way and lack that kind of partnership, usually those tend to fall apart. Well, it's just a good example of what other communities can be like if they're lacking those experiences. But also was writing to say, can you ask some tough questions of your own community you're part of? And two of those are just saying, asking people in the community, are you a good communicator or not? Embracing yourself to see what they say. The even harder question is if you ask them, do I handle conflict well or not? And seeing what they say. Because communication in a community and resolving conflict in a community are going to be necessary kind of interpersonal skills to make a community work. They're heavily tied to emotional awareness, and can you recognize the situation you're in about your own, how you're portraying your own emotions, how you're picking up on other people's emotions, and dealing with communicating and conflict at the same time. So trusting community is a lot about interpersonal skills and how you do that. When it works well, it's much, much better. So as I was researching just other factors that go into it, came across a good article on Psychology Today that just talked about some, maybe they're obvious, but maybe not. But I wanted to highlight those just to be able to get them out there and reinforce what we're talking about this week. So here they have 2 points in a survey they did, or not, just some research that they were publishing. Those who report higher levels of trust in their social relationships also report higher levels of life satisfaction, because who doesn't want higher life satisfaction? Conversely, low levels of trust often lead to feelings of isolation, cynicism, and emotional distress. As you've heard me say before, like three enemies of, I think, healthy relationships, healthy living. They even, this article, go further and identify 5 things that are going to be key factors that lead to trust in those relationships, so very applicable to this week. Number 1, they said, be reliable and consistent. You'd like that in the communities you're a part of, and count on people to show up and be the way that they said they're going to be. Communicate openly, which is very, very helpful. Don't shut down, don't play games, etc. 3, show empathy, right? That unique human characteristic that separates us in powerful ways, just to be able to show empathy. Be honest. Be honest about what's happening, probably related to the communication aspect and how you're feeling. And then finally, seek and extend forgiveness. In this article, they were citing that as the 5th valuable tool for maximizing life satisfaction in those social relationships. I liked how they finished this article. It said, put your focus on being someone others can wholeheartedly trust, and likewise seek out those you can trust. Just a powerful recognition of what is at the middle of these communities that you can trust as you go forward. So it's a good article. I'll link it in the handout, post that later today. But it's just another way to recognize why we're talking about community and why this week's focus on trust is so important. So one question for us today, and then just another question for actually a point to make for you guys to reflect on. But the first question is, what helps you build trust with others? Or what is it that they do to help you build trust with them? I listed 5 characteristics from this article, but what about for you guys? What helps you build trust with others? Or what is it that they do that helps you trust them? What comes to mind? Feel free to echo some of those Psychology Today points that were made as well. Consistency. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. They'll be reliable and consistent. Others? Hmm. Yeah. So are they reflective of those? Are they showing you those character traits that are worth trusting? It's a risk to trust. So taking risks in community, entering that is a little bit harder than maintaining community as it goes. Good answers. Any other ones to wrap up that question? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, that's the thing. It's a good word. You know, emotionally stable or understandable, predictable kind of thing. Nothing will destroy community other than a kind of a wildfire. Someone who is unpredictable or over responds, under reacts, just doesn't read the situation. That's why emotional intelligence is a key part of what we want everybody to have, but it's a key part of community as well. To answer that question, I think integrity is a part of it, right? The idea of people say what they're going to do and they actually do what they're going to do and they follow through on that. There's consistency between the two angles, certainly is a key part of trusting people on both sides of that. As I said, the second one that I felt like was important to weave in and for you to think about throughout the course of the day, perhaps, or week, is community. Because of those mistakes, because people need forgiveness and grace, it's like the other side of that is, what are some of these languages of apology you can do? One of the best books I ever read was a book co-written by Gary Chapman called The 5 Languages of Apology. Talked it through. And so just citing those here because I want all of you to be thinking, which one of these is my go-to when I need to apologize? So number 1 is the ability to say, I am sorry. For some people, that's crucial. For others, it's like pulling teeth. But just to recognize that's a good language to be able to use in community to help people trust you. Second, ownership. I was wrong, right? Just to be able to acknowledge that as a second thing to be able to say. Third, please forgive me. Like the ability to formulate that phrase and be able to say it. Fourth, a commitment to not do it again. I won't do it again. There's just this idea of kind of demonstration of repentance. Like I will turn from that and it will not happen. And then finally, this idea of restitution. How can I make it up to you? All right. So that's the 5 Languages of Apology book, co-written by Gary Chapman. Very, very helpful. But in this idea of trusting community, of needing empathy, forgiveness and grace, golden rule kind of stuff, I think a key skill to develop is a skill of apology. And those are really, through the years, that book's probably 20 years old, but just recognizing that everybody has their own language. For somebody, saying I'm sorry is empty, doesn't mean anything. It's that last one, how can I make it up to you, that matters, or I won't do it again. That turning from it and being repentant matters. And if you just use one of these all the time, you'll wear it out. So being able to use a variety of ways to make it up to somebody or to say an apology, demonstrate an apology, might go a long way toward building a higher level of trust in community. So some final comments about this week and related to how powerful trust is. I would say that the ability to trust people is kind of the center of the wagon wheel in a relationship and thus in a community. That at the middle of that, if that relationship is based on trust, a lot of things are going to come off of that idea that are going to benefit that, strengthen a relationship, strengthen a community around. So it's a healthy thing to pursue and guard and make sense of. And just to echo it again, the idea of a skill, becoming good at apologizing, owning things, being humble, and being non-defensive. No one is naturally good at all of those. So it is a matter of developing that skill, being intentional about it, because I don't think people are wired to be that way. I think apologizing is very hard. Owning things, being defensive, not being humble, it is hard to be able to do that. But we love it when people are that way. So it's a good goal to aim for. And then finally, just this simple idea about set the example for others near you about positive communication and positive conflict resolution. If you're the one driving that and setting the bar and trying to just continually get better and better at those things, it's going to maximize whatever various community you're a part of, or it's going to help kind of draw people in because you're doing those things like you're being open and honest, you're being reliable and consistent, you're showing empathy, you're offering forgiveness and grace, you're not unpredictable. Again, these are all those interpersonal aspects that make you trustworthy, but also set the example for others to know how to be trusted as well. And without those skills, it's hard to maintain a community and have it work well. So kind of a lot of information this week, even this morning, but I think each piece has a significant value to it. And I'm excited just to see how that will go. But be thinking about that. Ask those hard questions of people around you. Am I a good communicator or not? And maybe you'll get some really good feedback. People who care about you will also say, here's where I think you could do better. Conflict resolution is the other side of that coin. Can you ask if you're can you handle conflict well? Because if you can, maybe it's easier for people to be in community with you. And if you can't, something to work on so it makes it easier to be trusted in all circumstances. So good to see everybody. Have a good workout this morning and a good week. And may your communities be more trusted as you go through the next few days. Thank you.